It's not the knife that I usually cut with, but it'll do. Of course, all the good stuff. It's packed up. It's packed up. Why is it packed up? You may ask. Is it because I'm moving away? Am I going on vacation? Nope. I'm facing eviction. Now, why is that, you ask? Why is a guy that makes as much money as he made? Why is a guy that looks like he's doing all right for himself? Why is he facing eviction? Why is he showing up almost every day, coming home from work with a new letter on his door? Well, the answer is simple. I lost my job. Now, I know what you're thinking. This was back in November, by the way. I have a job now, obviously. I told them, middle age, about 50 something, Jeff, shout out to you, Jeff. Told Jeff, I was like, well, Jeff, could you possibly float me? Give me something to hold me over so that I can pay my rent on time. This is like a week before Thanksgiving. And, he was like, well, I'll see what I can do. There are no guarantees, but I'll see what I can do. Well, I had 3 days. Well, the next 3 days came. Not a peep, not a single word I heard from Jeff, of course. Over the next 3 days, not Jeff or his lackey. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Was a stand-up guy, at least I thought he was. But he just became Jeff's. It's unfortunate. I think you know a person till a person gets infected by another person and they lose their spine. Was I the only person to get terminated? No, I was the only person. But let me build back up to that. So the due date comes. I can't pay the rent because these guys can't give me an advance. Now, let's back it up a little bit. They were like, well, if you sell some PTO, then hopefully we can get it on that check. Well, I was like, okay, well, let's do that. Let's sell the PTO, try to get it. PTO don't get sold, I get a regular check, okay? I lose the place. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I'm good, I'm good. It's all right. It's a shop. It's a garage, I'm like, I can just work an extra day. And when they open up overtime all the way, I just work all those days. Go to the gym, flip-flop between work and the gym and DoorDash and all that good stuff. Fast forward a week later, it's Wednesday. It's the day before Thanksgiving. Jeff calls me into the office. Well, I'm like, okay, well, maybe they didn't come through last week, I understand, trying to understand, I was like, hopefully this is about the PTO. At least I can get the PTO, right? At least I can get the PTO. Like, okay, maybe it's about that PTO he didn't address last week. So I sit down in the chair after working all day, it's 3 o'clock. I had been at work since 5. And, like, how you doing, X? How you doing? I was like, well, doing all right, regular day. Another day in paradise. At that time, I had been at the job 3 years, so. And he said, well, X, he calls up the area manager. Says, well, X, it seems like we've come to an impasse. It's like an impasse. Like, so that's a no-go on the PTO that I requested last week. It's like, well, no, not that. Your attendance, I was like, well, yeah, we had a meeting about the attendance earlier. Said as long as I'm here by 5:05, not anything later, I'm good to go. We had a meeting about this. You know, of course, I had car trouble. You know, transmission was going out. I will never buy, I've learned my lesson. I'll never buy another Nissan, buy or rent another Nissan. So I've learned my lesson, yeah. It's like, well, your attendance, you know, all the things going on, you know, tried to throw you a rope, throw you a lifeline a few times, but you know, it's caught up to you, and it's led us to this point. You know, I'm just letting him talk. You know, he's saying a bunch of shit that I really don't care to hear. It's a day before Thanksgiving. Nobody wants to hear this a day before Thanksgiving. I'm sure he wouldn't. Shout out to you again, Jeff. He said that he ran it past HR. Shout out to you, Christina, because I got nothing to lose. I got nothing to lose at this point.